I have pulled a card. It is the Nine of Swords, which means you get no bitches. Shamu, everybody. Let's talk about divination. One of my favorite subjects. I had a wonderful live earlier today. Shout out to everybody who made that such a wonderful thing. I hopped off that and I ended up jumping around a couple Discord servers that I frequent. And there was a question that was asked. The meat of the question is not super important for this video. It was the premise, where they were talking about divination, and they tried to mention that they kept their religion separate from their witchcraft, from their practice. They were trying to separate their religion from their divination. This is not a thing. In Mesopotamia, the sun god Utu decreed his favor or displeasure on the liver of a ram, and that was red. The gods were embodied in the planets, and their movements were red. These were also divined on. The Baru divined based on the gods and the decrees. And we learn many of the decrees and what's to come during the Akitu festival, when the god Enlil writes on the tablet what happens for the year, and we divine upon that. In Greece, the gods gave the gift of prophecy. Cassandra was given prophecy from Apollo. Tiresias was given the gift of prophecy from Zeus. The oracle at Delphi was an oracle connected to the gods. The Sibylline oracles were connected to Cybele, the great Magna Mater. Odin hung himself on a oak tree, for 9 days to unlock the secrets of the runes, which are divined upon. The I Ching is tied to the decrees and the movements of the earth that is decreed by the Supreme. Basically, what I'm getting at is that there is no form of divination. There is no form of authentic, historic divination that does not hold some part of the religion. Even necromancy, in its early form of divination, there was a religious aspect to it, because necromancy was speaking to the souls of the dead and getting information from them. And in order for there to be souls of the dead, there needs to be a level of eschatological belief. And in order for there to be a level of eschatological belief, there needs to be a cosmic order which predicates the existence of gods. All of these old ways, throwing the bones, and haruspicy, oracles, the Ifa divination, the geomantic figures of the Arabic pagan. I almost said penguins. The Arabic penguins. Those are a thing. Watch out for those. All of these divination systems that we have seen through history tie into religion. Hell, even the tarot, in its most prominent form, within the Letterman, within the Rider-Waite, have symbolism that ties to Kabbalah, or has symbolism that ties to Hermeticism, tying it to Hermes Trismegistus. There is no divination out there. It's literally in the name. Divine is in the name divination. If we attempt to separate the religion from the divination tool, we carve a substantive chunk out of that divining. If we attempt to just use this as a tool in a vacuum, we don't develop the connections with the spirits, with the gods, with the other world, with the whatever you want to call it in your thing. This was of tantamount importance to divination. Divination is seen in most cultures that we have recorded of it as some form of a gift from the spirits or a gift from the gods, which innately ties it into religion. You are doing a disservice to the faiths and the cultures that you are trying to work with, and you are doing an even bigger disservice to yourself if we try to strike these things from the record, if we try to separate these. Deconstruction is a good thing, but you can go too many levels down in deconstruction, and now it becomes an issue. So remember, when you are divining, when you are throwing them bones, when you are tossing them dice, when you are pulling them cards, when you are looking at the geomantic figures, when you are tracking the celestial bodies across the heavens, when you are speaking to the dead, when you are having oracular dreams, all of this is you opening up a dialogue with the spirits, with your ancestors, with the divine, with the deities of these cultures, who play a real and practical part working hand in hand with you on these things. This is something tarot has lost a lot of, but it's still there. You can still do it in that way. I'm not necessarily bagging on tarot here. I'm bagging on the concept of divination being outside of religion. Even you chaotes, if you're truly stepping into these paradigms with these tools, and you're taking the tool wholesale, should know the importance of the connection. This is a religious connection, this is a cultural connection, this is a spiritual connection, and this is a functional connection. They sit lockstep with each other. So when we divine, when we take part in that communion and open that communication with the things of the unseen world, whatever you call it, remember how closely intertwined these are. That's it for me for tonight. May the ancestors bring you the sweetest of portents, and may you have the most wonderful of dreams. Shamu.